Liberal Viewer presents.
So late last year I made a video titled "Is Fox News Bias Different?" in which I criticized MSNBC's Rachel Maddow for arguing that Fox News is different from other news organizations and maybe not news at all, not because I disagreed with her conclusion, but because I thought her reasoning was too narrow when she argued,
"The difference between Fox and news, the way in which one of these things is not like the other, is that only one of these organizations is organizing anti-government street protests." There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly legal as far as I know. It just makes Fox an opposition political outlet to the Democratic Party and the Obama White House rather than a normal news channel.
Now, I don't disagree with anything Rachel Maddow said there, but my criticism was that she didn't list several other ways that Fox News bias is different from what would normally be considered news. Using examples from my Fox News bias playlist, I showed how there are also strong arguments for saying Fox is not news because of the way Fox applies a combative interview style to only one side, parrots partisan talking points, and generally distorts facts to fit a partisan agenda. And on that last point, I was glad to see Rachel Maddow appearing on The Late Show with David Letterman earlier this month, expanding her argument about why Fox News is different to include Fox News' basic problem with the truth that she described here.
And I, of course, think that we are much more true than Fox is true. And I think that some of the problem that I think is reasonable to assert about Fox and its coverage is that they make up stories out of whole cloth and then make a big deal out of them.
And that's true, of course, as documented again on my Fox News bias playlist, and I was also glad to see Rachel Maddow bring up the issue of Fox News parroting partisan talking points, which she made especially powerful by citing recently leaked Fox News memos in this clip.
Fox is incredibly powerful, and the right-wing sort of media world is incredibly powerful because they're very well funded and they have big audiences and they follow talking points. There isn't anybody at MSNBC who sends out memos every day saying these are the stories we'd like you to talk about. And this is the language we'd like you to use.
But that happens at Fox.
Right. Those memos have started to be leaked.
And the memos that are starting to be leaked now that Rachel Maddow was talking about there include an emailed instruction from Fox News' Washington managing editor Bill Salmon, available on the Media Matters website, in which Bill Salmon reminds Fox News' supposed journalists to continue mislabeling the public option proposed in some healthcare reform plans as a government-run plan. And I found this memo to be particularly validating because it confirms the Fox News bias I documented just weeks before in my August 2009 video titled "Government-Run Healthcare is Fox News Myth?", in which I showed our friends at Fox using the misleading language in examples like this one.
The number one item we know that you're interested in, the whole government healthcare system thing that they're trying to cook up. We told you yesterday at this time about how some trial balloons were being floated over the weekend by the president and by members of the cabinet, where it sounded like the whole government-run part of it, where the so-called public option, they might be taking that off the table.
And what I found especially amusing about the juxtaposition of that leaked Fox News memo and my video from the same period was the Fox News managing editor's fourth point, quote, "When newsmakers and sources use the term public option in our stories, there's not a lot we can do about it since quotes are of course sacrosanct," unquote. Yet, in my August 2009 video, I showed Fox News anchor Gretchen Carlson violating even that supposed sacrosanctity, as you can see here.
Here's what Congressman Weiner said with regard to being worried about the votes. "I think that we have a majority of the votes in the House and Senate for a public plan, the government-run aspect."
That's right. When it comes to partisan spinning, even direct quotations were not sacrosanct on Fox News, and the whole controversy is more than just a semantic word game because, as I argued back in that video last year, this Fox News misinformation offensive on healthcare obfuscated really important differences between a government-run health system, a single-payer system, and a public option, not to mention the even weaker version of healthcare reform eventually passed into law. And this power of Fox News to spread misinformation was also something Rachel Maddow talked about with David Letterman earlier this month, where, although she was specifically talking about Glenn Beck, her point could really apply to the power of the entire Fox News operation when she said,
"And that power of being able to entertain people while giving them some information and some explanation about the world and moving them, in some cases, to your point of view, it's a power to be respected.
Yeah.
But you can move people into dangerous areas if you don't care about the truth of what you're saying."
Right.
And there's definitely a danger in the way Fox News has dedicated so many resources to building a slickly run operation with the purpose of spreading misinformation disguised as news. And if, like me, you believe in freedom of speech and not censorship, you have to believe that the best solution to the dangers posed by false speech is true speech, and that's why I make these videos and why I really appreciate it when my viewers help me spread around the truth by giving my videos a thumbs up, commenting on them, and sharing them on Facebook, Twitter, and other websites. And that's also why I believe that the same powerful communications tools that Fox News uses to misinform can and will be used to spread the truth even more successfully. But I want to know what you think. In an open marketplace of ideas, will the power of the truth eventually overcome the power of Fox News falsehoods? And as a special question for my more conservative viewers who inevitably make comparisons between Fox News bias and the bias at other media outlets, can anyone point to evidence from any other network like what I've documented in my Fox News bias playlist videos that show Fox News reporters applying a combative interview style to only one side, Fox News anchors parroting partisan talking points as directed by memos from Fox News management, and Fox News stories consistently distorting facts to fit a partisan agenda?
I YouTube, you decide.